Here's a quick demo of Goobric. Goobric's an extension that works with Doctopus to be able to give students feedback in writing in the digital format with Google Drive. Doctopus is an add-on that allows you to share documents with students and distribute them in the same way that a copier would with paper products, to be able to make an individual copy for each student and have it organized in a really nice file system for you. In this case, I'm going to add a Goobric on top of that to be able to give feedback to my students in a really efficient way. And so I'm going to first click with Attach Goobric. And this is from my Doctopus spreadsheet. And what Goobric wants to know is simply, what do I want to use as my rubric? And you can really insert your own rubric here, which is nice. It's pretty simple. So I'm just going to search for this Goobric example right here to choose. And I'm going to attach it. Once I do that, it's going to know what my rubric is for each document that I have open. The nice part about Goobric is that it's not only going to allow me to put a grade on the assignment, it's also going to do all the heavy work of going in and out of my folders to be able to open new documents. So in this case, I've now attached a Goobric. It says here that my Goobric choice is here. I could change it by clicking this button, and I can actually see the average scores that I've given within the rubric. So it's going to calculate what my averages are for each column or row of what I'm choosing. Let's take a look at an example. So here's this student's work. This is one assignment. You'll notice this little icon in the top right corner next to my bookmarks symbol. And this is the Goobric web app launcher. This is going to allow me to use Goobric with this document. And the first time around, it's going to ask me for authorization, just like any of our add-ons or extensions do. But I won't have to do that after I've done it once. And it's also going to allow me if I can use my microphone. The reason for that is I'm going to be able to leave audio feedback if I'd like to on my students' work, which is pretty cool. So notice that we've got the top third of my screen now is a rubric. The bottom 2/3 is the assignment. The assignment has simply been shifted down. So the assignment is here. I can still scroll through it, and I can see what Joe here is doing in his work. At the top, I see the rubric, and now I can simply click to add numbers for my rubric. So as I'm reading through, I can simply go through and choose, and it will remember my scores that I'm entering for this student. I've entered my scores. I can enter some comments here. And I can also add audio feedback if I'd like to. And notice here it's giving me two more options. I can email these scores to the student so that they'll get them. And I can choose to have this move on to the next student if I want to. In this case, I only have one student, so it's not going to do that for me. But if I click submit and I've clicked this button, it's going to automatically close this assignment and open the next one, which is very nice. Now, the email scores option is there because the other thing it will do is it will paste the rubric in the bottom of Joe's document. So automatically this document will end up with the rubric scores highlighted for him with my comments at the bottom of the sheet. So I'm going to click submit. Goobric is not only pasting this in the bottom, but it's also, as a reminder, it's calculating these scores to put them back in my Doctopus spreadsheet for me, which for those of you that are looking to put these grades in a gradebook, this will be a much faster, more efficient way of getting them into your gradebook as well. So notice this document, I didn't open up the next one because I don't have a next one, but in this case, here is that rubric. Pasted on the bottom, it tells you what time the rubric was pasted and by whom. And notice that each column is highlighted based on what was chosen for this student. So the student is seeing this on their screen. They're able to see how they did. And we can actually jump to Joe's screen here and see this is what he's seeing right now, that I'm working on his document and that these are the choices for the rubric score. And if I scroll all the way down, I'll be able to see what the comments were. Pretty straightforward. It also shows me on the left side spelling your score. It's going to tell me the number on that row as well. Let's take a look back at the spreadsheet. If we jump back to the Doctopus spreadsheet, sorry, we can see all of the normal options here. And then in addition, here is each column for what the student scored. If I want to look at average scores, it will tell me that as well. In this case, obviously, they're going to be just one from the one student here. I can also set up my spreadsheet to be able to pass them along so that I could see what the students have for their scores. And again, here's just the basic rubric scores document if you wanted to pull that out to be able to use that as your grading, as well as you could add a column here that would add up all of your scores into one. So that's Goobric.